Yo, what's going on, guys? Back to another deep shot video. Today I'm going to be talking about, as week 4 of the NFL just ended, I'm going to go over every game that was played this week, talk about what happened, some highlights, lowlights, the usual. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing another installation of our weekly NFL power rankings. So, I guess let's get right into it. Let's start off with Thursday night. Our Thursday night game was Cowboys-Giants. Cowboys won 20-15, and our star players, I guess, was probably going to be Malik Neighbors with 12 receptions, 115 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 7 receptions, 98 yards, and a touchdown. And this is pretty good for Dallas. They finally got a good win, 2-2, and the Giants do fall to 1-3, and that's going to be an issue, especially with Daniel Jones as a quarterback. They can't really do much. Devin Singletary didn't have a great game either for them, and that's also an issue. So, nothing like a great game for them. Dak Prescott had 2 touchdowns, and this is the Cowboys' 7 straight wins over the Giants. Let's go to our first game, our Saints-Falcons game. So this is the Falcons won on a 1-minute drive with a 58-yard field goal by Younghoe Koo to finish the game. Highlights, I guess, was Tyler Algier out carrying Bijan Robinson in this game with 8 carries to Bijan Robinson's 7 and 60 yards to Bijan Robinson's 28. Bijan Robinson did have 4 catches for 46 yards though, so kind of evened out. On the other side, the Saints, Derek Hall with no throwing touchdowns and 1 pick. Kamara with 77 yards and a touchdown, and Taysom Hill had 2 rushing touchdowns today. Chris Olave was the leading receiver with 8 catches, and then Rashid Shaheed, and then Alvin Kamara. This was an interesting game. The Saints had a last-minute touchdown with Kamara running it in, and then they threw by just letting the Falcons walk up the field for a 58-yard field goal, which Younghoe Koo nailed. Rams-Bears. I think for one, expected that the Rams would walk away with this game, but the Rams don't really have anyone to throw it to outside of Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington. So they did lose. Kyren Williams with 94 yards rushing and a touchdown, and 4 catches for 10 yards. Tutu Atwell led the Rams with 4 receptions for 82 yards, while DeAndre Swift had a big game with 93 yards rushing and a touchdown and 7 receptions for 72 yards. Caleb Williams in his second win of the season. The Bears defense really stepped up this game with a last-minute pick to seal the game, which really helped their team out. And I think the Bears, moving forward, are going to be good. Vikings-Packers. This was a really, really interesting game. Sam Darnold, the Vikings continue to 4-0, which is, if you told me that in one of my fantasy leagues I would be the opposite, I have the same record as the Vikings, I'd be horrified. But I'm fine right now because the Vikings are doing amazing. Sam Darnold, 20 for 28, 275, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Aaron Jones was cooking. Justin Jefferson was doing Justin Jefferson's things. The Vikings were up 28-7 or 6, I believe, in the third quarter. And then the Packers came back. Packers went boom, boom, boom. Got all the way up to 29 points, and Jordan Love throwing 4 touchdowns, but also having 3 picks. The Packers did fall short by 2 points, but it was a really, really good game. If you didn't watch it, go watch the highlights. Yeah, insanely close at the end. And Steelers-Colts, the Steelers fall to 3-1. The Colts improved to 2-2. Anthony Richardson was injured in the game with a hip injury, although it's not supposed to be serious. Michael Pittman Jr. finally came back from the dredges of fantasy football, and now he's starting to get more usage as Joe Flacco was the quarterback, who had 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the leading receiver was Michael Pittman, so that's good for them. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, George Pickens led the team with 7 receptions for 113 yards. And interestingly, Justin Fields led the Pittsburgh rushing and passing, although he did, I believe, have a fumble. Broncos Jets. The Broncos Jets, Tyler Badie suffered a seizure on the sidelines during the game and is out. So kind of another situation like Damar Hamlin. We all hope he's okay. I think he was doing fine though. On the other side, Braylon Allen out-rushing Breece Hall, as Breece Hall had 10 carries for 4 rushing yards and 2 catches for 14 yards. So fantasy owners for Breece Hall, not the best. Garrett Wilson still having a down season with 5 receptions for 14 yards. Mike Williams, the leading receiver for Aaron Rodgers, but the Jets do fall short to Bo Nix, 10-9. Eagles Buccaneers. The Eagles start off 0-14. They could end then 7-24 in the first half, and the Eagles were just getting absolutely out everything this game. The Buccaneers do end up winning 33-16, and it's not like Jalen Hurts really could have thrown it to anyone, as Dallas Goedert was his main title with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown being out. Mike Evans had a good game with 8 receptions, 94 yards, touchdown, and Baker cooked. Bucky Irving had the same amount of carries and rushes as Rachaad White, so they're splitting 50-50, but Bucky Irving did have a touchdown. But less catches, so I don't know even know. Bengals Panthers. Bengals fans, you finally won a game. Jamar Chase only had 3 catches. Out of the 6 targets, while T. Higgins had 10 targets. Although Jamar Chase did have 1 50-yard touchdown, I believe, 63-yard touchdown, which was pretty. It's just bad defending. They didn't tackle him properly. Another fantasy pickup for fantasy football players: Chuba Hubbard, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 catches, 17 yards. He had a big game. The Panthers are looking, like a team now. They're playing decently. I know, obviously, you can't really blame Bryce Young. He's a rookie. But Andy Dalton's playing pretty good. 25 for 40, 220, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Joe Burrow had 232, 2 touchdowns and a pick, while Chase Brown led the team in rushes with 2 touchdowns and 80 yards rushing in 15 attempts. Commanders Cardinals. The Commanders are 3-1. I'm sorry, what? What? I think Commanders, you guys have found your quarterback. Jaden Daniels, 26 for 30. Almost 88% passer rate completion, which is really good. 230 yards rushing, a touchdown and a pick. Also 47 yards rushing and a touchdown. Jeremy McNichols with 2 touchdowns, and Brian Robinson Jr. with 101 yards rushing and a touchdown. Terry McLaurin starting to pick back up. Zach Ertz and Noah Brown also starting to be there. And Luke McCaffrey, the brother of Christian McCaffrey, got 1 catch. Just thought that'd be interesting. Marvin Harrison leaving the Cardinals as the Cardinals lose 42-14. The Commanders are hot. Jaguars, Texans. The Jaguars are now 0-4. Tank Bigsby led the team in rushing yards. Travis Etienne, although had more carries, had 40 yards less than Tank Bigsby. CJ Stroud with 345 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Nico Collins with an insane 12 receptions, 151 yards, and a touchdown to lead Houston, while Stephon Diggs had a rushing touchdown and 5 receptions for 69 yards. Texans advanced to 3-1. Patriots 49ers. The 49ers, the injury bugged 49ers are now 2-2. Who 49ers got a fumble late to steal a win. Jordan Mason had a big game with 24 carries, 123 yards, and a touchdown. Deebo Samuel is now back in rotation, which is good for really them as a whole. Really the Niners as a whole. George Kittle is still out. Brandon Ayuk still getting low usage, and Juwan Jennings leading the Niners for a 2nd straight week. Patriots go down to 1-3. Browns Raiders. Raiders are now 2-2, and Browns are 1-3. Alexander Madison led the team in rushing yards, but although he's being outcarried by 12 rushes to Zamir White, who only got 50 yards and 17 carries. The Vegas rushing was very split out between Gardner Minshew, Trey Tucker, Tyreek McAllister, Brock Bowers, DJ Turner, Zamir White, Alexander Madison. It's a long list. Jacoby Myers led the team with 10 targets and 5 receptions for 49 yards. Raiders advance to 2-2, and Browns go down to 1-3. Jerry Jeudy led the Browns with 6 for 72. Chiefs versus Chargers. Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is injured. Rashee Rice suffered a broken, just like his knee just got blown out by Patrick Mahomes. And this hurts because he's on my team, so I'm upset. No really news has been on Rashee Rice as of late. His testing was inconclusive, but there is hope that he will return, and it's not a torn ACL, which would end his season. Travis Kelce returned to being the number 1 receiver, and Xavier Worthy is now trying to get more usage in Rashee Rice's absence. Chiefs are now 4-0, and the Chargers are 2-2. The Bills and the Ravens. Coming into this game, the Bills are 3-0, and I ranked them second on my power ranking tier list if you watched that video last week. They got destroyed. Like, completely blown out. The Ravens winning 35-10. Ravens advance with 2-2. And Derrick Henry, over 200 yards, 209 scrimmage yards, 199 yards rushing, a touchdown, and 3 receptions for 10 yards and another touchdown. Khalil Shakir leading the Bills in receptions, and Dalton Kincaid leading in targets. With Mac Hollins, okay. Well, Bills go back down to 3-1, and the Ravens improved to 2-2. Now we're gonna go over the 2 games that happened literally 2 hours ago. Titans Dolphins. They're both 1-3, but Titans won 31-12. The Dolphins have Tyler Huntley. Tyreek Hill had 4 catches for 23 yards. Jalen Waddle had 4 catches for 36 yards. Tyreek Hill had 3 rushes for 19 yards. Yeah, just not a great game, really. It's not a good game for the Dolphins. Tyler Huntley scored the only touchdown for the Dolphins, which was a rushing touchdown. And Tennessee had a decent game with DeAndre Hopkins. Really, no receptions at all. Only 110 total receiving yards, and Mason Rudolph, and 102 total passing yards this entire game for Tennessee. Really, their rushing attack. Tony Pollard with 22 carries, 88 yards, touchdown, and Tajay Spears with 39 yards and also another touchdown. Tyler Huntley did fumble, and Miami did have a safety. So, Titans got a safety from Miami. Yeah, Titans win 31-12. Lions Seahawks. This is actually just a shootout. Lions win 42-29. The score looks a lot like different. The score looks like it was not as close as it really was. The Seahawks closed it to a 1-score game, and then they kind of let it go. My favorite play was Amon-Ra St. Brown's toss to Jared Goff for a touchdown, as Jameson Williams led the team in receiving yards with 2 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown, while Amon-Ra St. Brown led in targets with 6 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. And he threw a touchdown. Kenneth Walker had 3 touchdowns for the Seahawks. Glad to have him back. While Zach Charbonnet was good on the passing attack with Kenneth Walker, also getting 4 receptions for 36 yards. Seahawks go down to 3-1, and Lions go up to 3-1. This week was still crazy. The Bears won. The Packers-Vikings game was insanely close. Colts won. Broncos won. Buccaneers won. Bengals won. Commanders are really good right now. Jaden Daniels he's their guy now. Washington fans, I'm so happy for you guys. You finally got yourself a quarterback. But that's really all the games from week week 4. Week 4. Yeah, week 4. But the highlight games for me, in my opinion, are going to be Saints, Falcons, Seahawks, Lions, and Vikings, Packers. Obviously, if you want to go and watch highlights, you probably want to watch highlights of those 3 games, in my opinion, since those are the most fun to watch. So that's all for now. I will make a video, I think tomorrow probably, on the power rankings for week 5. So that's all for now. Have a great day. Peace.